Alright, back again, still in Paris this time. We're riding the metro. It's one of those things you'll have to learn to figure out how to do if you're going to be traveling in a bigger city like you will on our tour. Just kind of going, hanging out with the group here. We're starting at basically the end of the line. We're going to be heading way downtown, heading down to the historic part of town, the opera. You can see it's better to be holding on to the railing than it is to be holding on to an iPad while you're trying to do this sort of thing. I'll give you a look at kind of what the map looks like in just a second. As I was saying earlier, this is the system that shows you where the stops are. We actually started at the end of the line at Gallieni. We're heading along down here, and you can see, on down the line, Opera is the one that we're looking for. It's pretty easy if you just bother to pay attention and know what station you're headed to. Just keep up with your group and make sure that you're sticking with the people you're supposed to be with. Navigating a big city, sophisticated transportation system is actually pretty easy. If you've been to Washington, D.C., you've probably ridden the metro there, you might be familiar with it. Other cities in the U.S., this is no different, probably just a little bit better developed. If you've ridden the light rail to Target Field, you've probably done something like this, except for that kind of pales in comparison to this sort of system. One more thing, if you see the sign up there, you'll notice the next train is in 6 minutes. The next train after that is in 8 minutes. Like a wise man named Benny Hill once said, you should never run after either a girl or a bus. The same thing applies to trains, because there's always another one along in a couple of minutes. Alright, I realize this doesn't have much to do with my running monologue of Paris survival tips, but this is coming out into the sunlight at the Opera metro station. And I'm panning way too fast here. You're going to get sick watching this, but that's alright. Just a little teaser for you of some things you'll see next year. Next survival tip. Paris traffic, very unpredictable. If you can see it over there, there's a walk, don't walk sign. This is one of the countries where you actually have to obey them or get run over. So where am I now? One of the things that people on the tour might be able to see is there's a famous, one of the oldest department stores in Europe called the Galeries Lafayette. And one of the cool things about it is, aside from a bunch of overpriced clothing that I don't know what to do with, one of the cool things about it is that they've got a rooftop panoramic terrace, which if I sort of turn around like this, you can see basically some of the greatest scenery of Paris that you could ever want to see. And again, this is more just sort of a preview, sort of a teaser, both for the people who are on the trip next year and the people who are supporting them and the people who are just wondering about what in the world I'm doing in Europe right now. That's just a little teaser, a little nice shot of scenery. Probably give you another look at that here. Again, just a little shot of some more scenery. This is the back of the famous Paris Opera House. Just take in, look at some of the grandness of one of the great cities of the world, one of the great cities of Europe. Again, just kind of giving a hint of what people on the tour next year will be able to see, and a hint of what I'm seeing right now, and just for those people who are supporting and helping out and wondering what we're up to, this is a great part of it. Just an amazingly beautiful city. And again, especially when you're like me and you come from a town of 1,200 people, it's pretty mind-blowing to be in a city of 11 million, one of the great 2,000-year-old cities of the world. So here I am in the Louvre. Now, why would I show you this? Number one, it's one of the most amazing things that you can come and see here in Paris. But also, I'm going to give you a little tip, because that's what I'm doing with these videos, is giving you little tips. You can go see the Mona Lisa, and I'm going to do that in a little bit here. But you think I'm going to put it in my video? Heck no. I'm going to show you some of the other things that people ignore when they're off on their mad rush to see the Mona Lisa, like this awesome Egyptian thing that I should have looked at the title card for before I started filming it. Don't just do the stereotypical things. Don't just do the things everybody expects you to look at. You might miss out on something pretty cool. In case I didn't make myself clear in the last video, in the last scene, unimaginably old, unimaginably rare, unimaginably significant to human history and human civilization. This is the real treasure that you can find here, not paintings that people like to put on postcards. So here I am again, just kind of a quick little video update. Take a look and you'll see behind me the famous 850-year-old Notre Dame Cathedral. And if you want, you can actually go all the way up there. Just one of those little things. So another day of travel tips for you. I'm going to give you a quick tour of the hotel room so you can know what to expect when you're here. Walk in the hotel room. It's a little messy, just because we've got two guys hanging out here. Bed, built-in light controls and power socket. Couch, hide-a-bed. TV, desk. It's a little tight, but it's not too much different from a normal American hotel room. Mini fridge, safe. Bathrooms in France, or at least in this hotel, are a little different. Sink, shower tub combo, which is weird if you can see it. It's kind of built up. It's pretty high off the floor. It's almost kind of dangerous to step in and out of this thing. But, you know, nothing too terribly unusual, except for, hey, wait a minute, where's the... Something seems to be missing in this bathroom. And it took us a while to figure this out, because down here, oh, I have to go past a mirror. Down here, this door that we thought was a door to, like a pass-through to another room, oh, there it is, all by itself. Actually pretty convenient when you think about that. So that's just a quick look at our hotel room. Been charging the iPad and stuff. Remember that when you come over here, your electronic devices and stuff that you want to charge, you cannot plug them into a French outlet. This is what a French outlet looks like right here. Power in Europe is 220. You don't want to plug in your normal American appliances into that current if you even could. You'll actually need this power converter thingy that I've got that will adapt and then give you normal American power output. All over Paris there are random people on the street selling these Eiffel Tower souvenirs, which actually look pretty nice. I got ripped off on this one, just so you know. Generally speaking, you can probably buy these for about €1 each, and I didn't know that until a guy tried to sell me one for 50, which I thought was ridiculous, and I said no, and he talked, and then I talked him down to 10, and I felt pretty good about myself. So the next guy offered me one for 1. So don't be afraid to kind of argue and barter a little bit with the people selling souvenirs. So a few other tips for you now that I've completed a few days here in Paris. Not a few days, it feels like a few days. I've actually completed 1 full day here in Paris after getting off the airplane. Some things to think about. We walked probably a total of, got to be close to 5 miles yesterday. For those of you that are coming here, for those of you that are coming on our trip, anybody who's planning on traveling to Europe in general, start walking now. Go out in the country and walk around a section a day or something like that. Start walking in excess of a couple of miles a day, otherwise you're just going to die when you get here. Humidity has been very high in Paris. Temperature has been in the mid to high 80s. We walked around all day yesterday, sweated like crazy, and you want to get yourself in shape for it, because I'm glad I've been doing a lot of walking, a lot of stroller blading before coming here. That's been very helpful. And so the walking was no trouble for me, but start walking now. Get ready for the trip a year from now. Or if you're somebody who's not on our trip, somebody who's just watching these videos for fun, if you're planning on coming here, get yourself in shape for the walking. Some other things to think about. Tipping. Tipping waiters in France, you generally don't do it, or you don't tip very much. 10% is a pretty outrageously generous tip.
And actually some people will be offended that you try to tip them. The idea that, hey, I'm not a charity case, why are you leaving money on the table, kind of thing. So that's something that's a little bit different here as far as a custom. Let's see, I talked about getting ripped off by the souvenir seller. Just be a little bit wise about that kind of thing. We talked about the metro, the subway system, very efficient as long as you figure out how to use it. And it's not bad, there's maps all over the place. It's just a simple grid system, you should be able to figure that out without any difficulty. Let's see, I should have written some of these things down. Those were the big ones. Don't necessarily tip waitstaff. Start walking now. Don't get ripped off by souvenir sellers. And yeah, anything else that I come up with, I'll put in the next video. Talk to you soon.
As usual, I thought I was done with the last video and have to add one more thing. I may have to start taking back some of those things I've said in class about France and French people. I gotta be honest, they've been pretty decent so far. They've been very nice. They've been very accommodating. I had managed to order lunch yesterday, speaking absolutely no French, and the girls there were very nice. They treated me like some sort of senile, crazy uncle, but at least they were polite about it. So far people have been great, and I think one thing, especially for those of you that are going on the trip, I think we're going to have somebody come in and teach us some French phrases, because that's only polite to be able to do some of that, and it'll make things go a lot more smoothly. Even just being able to say a couple words like bonjour and s'il vous plaît and merci. A couple of phrases like that go a long way as far as building some goodwill with people that you're asking for things like food or other vital services.